Hello, hello. Are we live?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Can people let us know? Because I didn't, again, this is one of these really weird moments where I didn't click go live yet, and now it looks like it went live on its own. Okay, can people let me know if you can hear and see me? Because this is strange. I hope this isn't one of these. Okay, we're live.
All right.
All right. I think you need to... No, you're fine. All right.
Yeah.
Decided to have you on today because wanted to talk about this topic of the reality of living with someone, and who better to talk to about it than you.
Mm-hmm.
Because last week, not last week, earlier this week,
Friday.
we did a stream about, are your expectations of a partner realistic? And we talked a little bit about that. We talked about the cliches of men having unrealistic expectations and the unrealistic expectations that women have as well. And I thought today it would be good to talk from the point of view of the reality of living with someone. So again, it's tied into expectations, but not beforehand the way we talked. We talked about how people go into dating delusional and putting on a front and expecting too much, and it's no wonder they find it hard or they find it difficult to talk. But once you're with someone, the actual reality of fairness and being reasonable and things like that.
He still does it. It's the pantry door, though. Yeah.
We'll put the thing up. Melee said, "Is this about you leaving the kitchen door open?"
Yeah, the pantry door.
It's a
Leave it
quirk,
open.
man. It's endearing. If I didn't do it now, you would feel something's off.
It is cute, babe. I like it.
All right. Yeah. Well, let us know in the comments if you are here live during the stream, and we'll try and answer your questions. Keep them polite and normal, and we'll do our best. But I think it's interesting to talk about practicalities and realities of not only trying to date, but once you have someone, how to keep someone, how to be fair about it, how to talk, how to keep it real, not in your head and all of that. Like, I think that's most of the frustration. People don't let everything out. They don't talk openly. And when they're in a relationship as well, like a lot of people just constrict. They get more and more on their own. They create distance between each other. And so I just wanted to talk about the realities of just being with another person. What are your thoughts just generally on this subject?
Well, my experiences have always been very positive, but I think it really depends on the person that you live with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would never move in with someone I didn't feel comfortable around, and I think that plays a very big part in how well you're going to live together. Because I've never had any problems living with someone.
Someone said there's background noise.
Maybe it's the crazy wind outside. It's like, but they won't hear that.
No, I'm not sure what they're meaning about background noise. I don't think it's my...
Oh no, isn't that his name?
Oh,
That's his name.
jeez. Don't do that to me. Background noise.
That's fine. He's just saying hi.
Yeah, but okay. All right. What were you saying, babe? Forgive me. I'm half out of it. I posted a video last night. I was up late, and so I'm still waking up. So take it over, babe.
Well, today, no. No, yeah, I was just saying that I really think it depends on the person that you live with. If you just make sure you feel comfortable with someone, then, I don't think you need to have problems living together. I think that says a lot. If you have a lot of problems while you live together, that says a lot about whether you should even be together or not. You're probably not very compatible.
I'm like a broken record. I always come back to communication and talking, maybe because I enjoy it and I have the best time with people. I can just, open the gates and just talk anywhere and everywhere. And I don't formalize myself, and I just have like a really creative and interesting conversation with people, no matter where it takes me. Like I find that really freeing. And if I can't do it with my partner, I don't feel free. And that's a really basic indicator for me. And so the compatibility and being open and stuff, that just happens because my first stance is being aware of my ability to talk openly and freely with somebody. And it doesn't matter with anyone else in my life that's close in my life, but especially with someone that's in my life all the time that I'm living with. I know that when you're young and naive, you just go for what's attractive and you're grateful that you're in a relationship and you try and make it work and you don't know any better. But as you get older, I would hope that you'd understand where you start to feel more alive and enjoy life. Like when you're away from women or the way you've been dating and on your own, you're really happy, or with one friend, you're really happy. I would say pay attention to where you're happy in life. And really, that's where you have to zero in and see, I know why. I need to talk this way. I need to be this way. And again, with you, I knew before you, when I was done with dating, it's like if a woman was going to come into my life, I know exactly what kind of person I am. And if me and her don't fit together compatibly in this similar way, then it's just going to be a no thank you. There's no anger there, but I just know exactly what I need in a person.
Yeah, it needs to add to your life, because else you might as well just stay on your own. Yeah. Especially for us. I think we're people who are really good on our own as well.
Yeah.
So if you're going to live with someone, it needs to actually add something to your life, because else why would you even do it?
Yeah. I think both of us were good on our own, but I just didn't. It bugged me how hard relationships seem to be, and I knew they shouldn't be. It's I don't know what it is. It's kind of like I draw, right? I enjoy drawing, and I don't care about how good someone else draws or someone else has got a better, more perfect style. For what I do, I know that I love drawing and I'm good at how I like drawing. And everyone's telling me my drawing's not good and you've got to try harder and you've got to draw this way. It's like, I kind of trust who I am and how good my drawing is and how I enjoy doing it. And I always tried to do it everyone else's way, and then I got tired of it. And then you just do it your way, and then you start realizing, yeah, you should have just always been drawing your way. Does that make sense, that analogy? I know you don't like analogies that much.
Do you mean that people have been criticizing the way you are in relationships?
Yeah, you know how everyone gives you the advice of how you should be doing relationships? Our relationships are hard. You need to just try again. There's no real talking about trying in a very particular way that might work with you. Everyone just says try in a generic way, but no one ever says, well, what do you like? What does your week look like? What are you into? What do and don't you want to do? What's important to you, when you hang out with a person? Like, it's always generic. Well, yeah, women complain, or yeah, women want this, so you have to put up with that. And you can't do this anymore. You got to say goodbye. And it's all this black and white rules, and you have to slot into that if you want to just be with someone and have company.
Do you feel like you've gotten that advice while you didn't ask for it?
Sometimes, yeah. Especially when you break up and you want to talk to someone and you want to make sense of what happened to you. Their advice, they're not listening to you. They're like, well, just pick better women. And it's like, well, thanks. Like, I want to talk about what happened to me and what I can do with this next time.
Yeah, see, that's very strange to me, because I can't relate to that. Because any advice that I've ever gotten on relationships has been loving advice, like from my family, my parents or my sister. No one has ever come up to me and given me advice that I didn't ask for, for example.
You sound like the emotional equivalent of a rich kid. They grew up with money. It's like, I never have a problem with money. Everything was really easy. We had a swimming pool. My butler I could talk to them and he drove me around everywhere. I don't know why everyone's complaining. You're really lucky in that though.
Yeah, but it's because I'm a woman.
No, but not just that. You've got a good family. You had a really sensible, balanced upbringing. I've met your family, and it correlates to everything you said. But a lot of other people don't. People have terrible upbringings, foster homes, drunk parents, and just anger and all of that sort of stuff. Parents not dealing with their own issues, having kids, and then the kids dealing with that and thinking that's normal. And then they go out and find a bad boy or a bad girl because it reminds them of the anger and drama in their how they grew up.
Yeah, I am very lucky with my family. Yeah.
All right, let's, while some of you people who are on the stream, if you want to ask us questions about what it's like living together, and we'll bounce some of these ideas off. And we wrote down a few things as well. Can you get my notepad, babe? Lucky I had it here. And, whoop, doesn't matter. That's fine. And we'll read some of the comments out. Some of the people left comments. David says, in terms of today's stream about the reality of living with someone, he says, what kinds of adjustments did you both have to make to accommodate the other?
Not many at all. I feel like the only big adjustment, we talked about that before, was the social one for me, because you're a bit more social than I am. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's the only one that's really worth mentioning for me. The rest is just, because it's easy living with you. I love living with you. You know. I love it. So yeah, that's the only thing really.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising and annoying. I always knew it shouldn't be that hard just being with someone. Like, you know, when you think, when you pass with your past girlfriends, you like them, you try, and they just almost hate you. They don't like you. They look at you like everything annoys them about you. It's like, why are you pissed off?
Yeah, but you know what I think a big difference is between men and women? Because my mindset has always been, I go and live with someone if it will add to my life because I'm good on my own. But if I notice that it's not good anymore, then I leave, right? And I think that that's what women do. But men, they don't leave because they've got that biological inclination towards women, I think. They don't leave nearly as quickly as a woman would leave. We just recognize when it isn't good anymore, and then we step out of the situation. But with men, I feel like they take a lot more from women, while they should be putting their foot down or just leaving.
I think the biology plays into it as well, because biologically, you always have to be hyper aware of red flags in front of you with a guy to pay attention to how you feel and your instincts. And if it doesn't feel right, if you don't feel safe, then you keep the distance until you do. You don't move in until you really feel sure. Mostly, everyone's different. Whereas with guys, we can just like sleep with one woman, half an hour later, another one. I'm talking about when we were hunter-gatherers or whatever. We can just move around. But once a woman gets pregnant, she's out of commission for 9 or 10 months. She's on her own. How's she going to survive? So her survival with being with a guy is very, very focused. She's very attentive to her own safety. Guys aren't attentive to their own safety with women. It's like, slept with her, I've got a kid, now I have to deal with it. I'm still alive, I'm still fine. But we're talking before modernity and technology, you get pregnant, you're on your own in the wilderness, like WTF, what's going to happen to me? How am I going to survive? Who's going to take care of me? I can't move. So it's very different from women. Women are very self-protective, and I think a lot of guys say, women are selfish in this way. But I think they're biological and by necessity a lot more selfish than guys are, because self-sufficiently, we can kind of move on and alimony. I impregnated this girl and that's my son. I visit him half of the time, and you can have a lot of baggage that you can just keep moving on as a guy, and you're not, it's always there, but you can survive. Whereas a woman, it's kind of like there's a lot of immediate survival she needs to take to consider. And it looks like, oh, she's selfish. Or look at her, she's making me jump through hoops just to get her into bed and stuff. Women are very neurotic about feeling safe with a guy and their own safety, because once they get pregnant, they're very vulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot you can say about what you just said. Because nowadays I feel like women have also changed a lot, and yeah, there's a lot there.
But me, in terms of what David P. asked, what kind of adjustments, and again, this is part of the reality of living with somebody. I got to know you just by talking to you for about a year before we even met. And I knew this is going somewhere, we're going to be serious, we want to have a relationship, this is going to be long term. And the only adjustment I realistically knew, and I didn't pretend about this, is that I need to accommodate another person in my life, in my house. So I have to make room in my cupboard for you. I have to let you, if I want you to cook and clean and take care of the house, I can tell you how I like certain things, but at the end of the day, it's up to you to do things the way you want to do them. I can't tell you how to clean dishes and how to do all the things I used to do when I was a bachelor and on my own. You have to let go of those things, like cooking as well. Like, we can say this, I cook better than you generally, but I love it when you cook for me. So I have to let you cook your way, how you cook, and then you learn to cook for me the way I like as well. But I can't just do everything pedantically the way I want things done. And so I had to make room for a person and be realistic and not think that, no, everything's going to be my way to make myself feel safe. I'm being very fragile. Like, no, I have to let go of a few things and hand them over to you, because I trust you that you'll do them your way, but you'll take care of me and us. You'll do your part. So that was my adjustment, making room for someone. And that was the biggest adjustment. It wasn't a surprise. I didn't know exactly how I would adjust, but it was what the adjustment or the modification I thought that would happen, and it did happen. Let's go change it to live chat, because I think... Hi, Peg, Adam Super C, Melee, Boffin, Rocket Scientist. All right, Armored Ghost. Anything else you want to say about adjusting?
No, I feel like the social one was the only big one, but I've worked on that a lot, and I'm much more used to it now. So
I think we have to say that it's very important that we really didn't have any surprises. We didn't have to really adjust to personality. We got to know each other really well before we committed. We took the next steps to...
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to make huge adjustments if you move into... No, but I mean, like...
I know.
Yeah, but if you pick the right person, like someone who's actually compatible with you, you actually are able to talk about stuff, then it should be pretty easy.
Yeah.
And because if it's hard, then why would you even move in with that person? You know, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Look, you're born with your family, right? But aside from family, anyone else you choose to be in your life, from friends to partners, romantic partners, it's ridiculous that you just take whatever you get. Of course, you naturally, you gravitate towards friends that are like you and you want to be with each other, and it's not hard to be with them. You're not playing games and you're not manipulating each other and you're not causing drama. You don't want to be with those friends. Everyone, when you talk, you go, yeah, why would you want to be with friends like that? Also, why would you want to be with someone in a relationship where it's hard work all the time?
Yeah, like I also feel it's a bit of your own responsibility. Like if you're dating with someone or you're in a relationship with someone and it's like pretty hard and you're fighting a lot and you're struggling, why would you even move in with that person? Or say you have moved in and you start to recognize that things aren't fun and it's just hard all the time. You need to get out, you know, and I think that people sometimes they stay in it hoping that it will get better.
Yeah.
It takes two to tango, you know.
Yeah, I think the advice out there, what's normal, not to mention the romantic movies that even go even further. It's ridiculous, the messages that romantic dramas and movies give women especially. But what is normal and what your the people around you who make really stupid, impulsive choices, and like they sleep with them, they get pregnant, they move in, they have kids, like things are bad, and then they go, maybe having a kids will fix things. It's like why do you just keep, putting your foot on the accelerator and driving faster over the cliff? Like, put on the brakes. Well, like, what's the rush? If you're fighting, continue to date them if you still like being with them or whatever, but don't move in with them if you're still fighting. Like, I don't get it.
I think that's a good one, what you just said, like at least put on the brakes. Because I feel like maybe moving out or ending it is too big of a step for some people, but at least hold it for a while, figure out what's going on before you move forward. I think that's a good one, like at least do that.
I've always gotten annoyed when whether it's in my life or I hear guys say, well, she gave me an ultimatum. She wanted this, otherwise she's going. And I get annoyed at that. It's like, it's different if you promised. If you sort of said, yeah, say we move in together, we get married, and yeah, I want to have kids, and you really want to have kids, and then later on I back out. And it's like, oh, she's giving me an ultimatum. Well, she bought into this because you said you wanted kids too. So that's your fault. You lied to her about something very important that she committed to before because of these really big things. She wants kids, or she wants marriage, or she wants whatever it is. And then you just lied to get her to commit to you to do what you wanted. But then later on, it's like, yeah, I lied. Deal with it.
Yeah.
And that's not fair.
Yeah, but that's also weird to me because the woman must also realize that she's kind of forcing him to do something he might not be so sure about. You must also know that, oh, I got what I wanted, but does he actually want it?
Yeah, a lot of women don't think in reality like that. They don't. Like, how many of them, they nag the guy, where is this relationship going? Where is it going? When's the ring on my finger? Nancy, my friend, she got married. I'm still, what are we doing? We've been together for 3 years, 4 years. When are we getting married? And she's nagging him. And then one day he finally okay, saving up for it. He gives her a ring. And she's like, oh my God, it's so unexpected. She's surprised. And I get so annoyed. It's like, why are you acting like this is a shock? You nagged him to death. Like, just be like, breathe a sigh of relief. That would be a genuine reaction. Just breathe a sigh of relief and going, finally, I'm so happy. Or finally, moron, you did whatever it is. But it's like, it's so disingenuous when they can lie to themselves that they nag the guy to do what they want, and then they pretend it's a Hollywood movie and they had no part in it. Oh my God, look, I'm so beautiful. He just wants to put a ring on me. It's like, you gave him an ultimatum. You told him that you're going to leave if you didn't, and you got your hand on the door. So he doesn't want to lose you, and he does it. And now you act like, oh my God, it's because I'm so wonderful and pretty, and I didn't expect this. It's like, yes, you did. I don't know, but that's my pet peeve. But yeah, the adjustments, David, mine was making room for someone else in my life, and your adjustments, you didn't have any, but you had some afterwards. You only discovered a few, say, around my life, my social life that you didn't.
That's the only one I feel like is even worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Because everything is very simple. Yeah, we just have a good time living together.
Okay.
Have I made friends?
Rocket says, has Steph made friends with Australian women yet?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I'm really not very social.
You've got work colleagues and...
Colleagues, that's not friends, though. I have nice colleagues, and I'm actually going for dinner with one of my colleagues in a few weeks. That's one that I really get along with well. But I wouldn't say I have friends.
You and I like staying home a lot. Even before you, I've got friends, but I catch up with them every now and then. I don't regularly catch up every week with my friends.
No, but you do have friends, I would say. They are friends. Yeah. But I'm kind of particular. I want a friend if I really click with a person, and that doesn't happen that often, I feel like. Yeah, so I'll see.
But also, I'm putting it in context. I've got friends because I've lived here all my life, and it's naturally evolved over time, and I've been single.
Yeah.
So if I moved to Holland, say it was reversed, I went to Holland to live with you, because we're both homebodies, we prefer being at home. I wouldn't really want to go out much. I'd be forcing myself to make friends because just I enjoy hanging out with you. And when I'm not hanging out with you, I'm working on my own projects. And so it's kind of like, well, what do I need to make the effort for friends? Like, I can talk to a few people. You're kind of my best friend anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, if a friend naturally came into my life, I wouldn't say no. But to kind of go searching for one.
I think that's the same with me. I might have friends like contextual. Like when I was in school in Holland, I had some girlfriends because we were studying the same thing. And maybe this colleague that I really get along with, maybe we'll end up kind of being friends and meeting up outside of work. But yeah, it's contextual. Like if I kind of by accident find someone I really get along with, that might turn into a friendship. But I'm not the type of person to go out and go and look for a friend because I'm pretty good on my own and I've got you. And we are kind of like best friends, yeah.
Something Boffin mentioned, if anyone wants to ask us a question or add some thoughts about the reality of living together with somebody, please add 3 smiley faces, icons before your question during the stream if you're here live, like this, 3 yellow circles or 3 emoji faces, and I'll be able to see it because otherwise everyone's just chatting during the stream, which is great. Talk amongst yourselves. But
yeah, that's
here we go. Strigorally, whatever. How do you handle it when you need space? I find it difficult to be with someone under the same roof all the time.
No, I love it. I only want to be under the same roof with you all the time. That's my ultimate dream.
Yeah, but we're kind of similar. I could be in the study here working on something, and she could be in the living room YouTubing on a laptop, on your phone, watching a movie. But it's kind of like we're kind of ambiently around each other. Like you're in the same house, and sometimes you work next to me. We're always talking. So we're not imposing ourselves on each other. And I think when I reflect on my last relationships, all of them, it was like you have to entertain the other person. And you have to make sure you're being a good boyfriend. Why is she upset? She won't talk to me. It was really hard. I don't have to worry about what you're thinking. You always tell me what you think. I always tell you. We just float around each other.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it's just like a warm feeling. I think for both of us, it's like having a dog around that you can talk to or something. Like it's just warm feeling in the house, you know?
Yeah, at least, yeah. Definitely. I wanted to say something like an inside joke, but yeah, I think we have enough space automatically because we have our own projects that we work on. But it is like that. We love being around each other, but sometimes we'll be in different rooms. But I never feel like I need space.
I think the important thing is we never suffocate each other. And there's enough time. If I'm working on something, I'll be saying like, babe, I'm going to work on this. And you'll be like, okay, I'm just letting you know what I'm doing. It's never like, can I? Is it okay? Have we, it's kind of, and then if you want, do you mind if I join you? Yeah, sure. Like, it's never like, you know what? Like, can you just be in the other room? It's never like that. And I think that would be a red flag. Like, why are you with this person if you need space away from them?
Yeah. I also think that's a good thing about that I'm always so much on my own, like in the past, because I always tell you, you never have to feel guilty or anything if you have to work or do anything. And I'm on the couch YouTubing, like because I always love doing that. So yeah, that's never a problem for me.
Yeah, and we do talk a lot. Like the more you talk, the more you get to know the person, and you're not always when you don't talk. And again, I'm reflecting on the past games that me and most people play in relationships, especially in the West. It's like they say something, but it's not what they mean, and you have to figure it out. And you walk on eggshells, and they need space, but they're not telling you. And a lot of times, if you just communicate, we let everything out of our heads. And so there's no, you don't need it. It's weird.
I think what he says, I find it difficult to be with someone under the same roof all the time because I have experienced that, but I think that really has to do with whether or not you're compatible or not. Yeah, because we automatically have a lot of alone time, but we're still in the same house. But that's because we're both creative and we have our own projects we work on. And then even if we're sitting next to each other, sometimes working on our own thing, you're in your own head doing your own thing. So that's also kind of alone time in a way. It's not like we're talking 24/7, like, although we do talk a lot, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's hard to describe mechanically, like point by point, but when you find someone that's just very easy to be around all the time and you're completely letting everything out of your mind, you're not playing games. I let all my thoughts out, small, big, whatever. I don't keep anything in, and neither do you. And as such, you don't need space in your own world. Like, our worlds are always spilling out between each other. And if she's there, I'll check in on her. What are you up to? What are you doing? Are you okay? Like, we're always checking in, talking, floating around, doing our own thing. There's never any walking on eggshells with us. And those are the kind of instincts I think you need to pay attention with. If you're walking on eggshells and worried, past the first few weeks where you just meet someone, it could be butterflies. But if you're past the honeymoon period and you're living with someone and what you thought were eggshells is now still eggshells, like what you thought were butterflies at the start, you now realize it's eggshells. That wasn't butterflies, because the two feelings feel very, very similar. And at the start, it's like, oh, this is just butterflies. Oh, what should I say? I can't talk to her, bloody,
Oh, like that.
Yeah, haven't you ever thought about that? How people, it's normal to have butterflies because you don't know the person, you don't know what to say, whatever. But once you've been with them, if you're not talking, the butterflies end up really being eggshells, that you can't say things. You have to watch what you say. You need time away. You can only say certain things and avoid other topics. I've thought about that. But anyway. Ahmed Ghost, reality of living together, arguing over the brand of mineral water. Has that been your experience? Ted1776, it has to be with the right person. I cannot stand someone there who can easily nag me. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds simple, but it's very hard to find. And the more you the more you search, the more you're just going to come across people that aren't compatible. Like, you're looking for a serious relationship, but most people out there aren't for you. And it is luck coming across that person, but you also have to know what you want. So then it's not luck. Once you get the luck of finding someone, if you know who you are, then it's not like how you act with them and whether you want to keep them and, how you interact.
I feel like most men are probably good for 80%, but then the last 20% you're not compatible. That's kind of my experience with men. I don't know, maybe it's because I've always had very good relationships. But yeah.
Well, I like that. You're not bitter at all. That was another positive. You're not like bagging your exes and talking badly about them all the time.
No.
If anything, I talk badly about my exes more than you. But then my experience here is with relationships has been very different to Holland. Nick says, couldn't find the yellow dot. Has she taken the MBTI personality test based on Carl Jung's 16 archetypes? She seems like an intelligent introvert INTJ, perhaps.
Oh, we have done that.
We're both INFJ. I'm INFJ A and you're INFJ T.
I remember I was turbulent and you were something with an A.
Assertive or...
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm more kind of stable and you're more...
maybe
emotional
insecure,
or
anxious, something like
that.
that.
INFJ. We're both INFJs, but two different types. And I think that, I don't know if that was the MBTI, the Myers-Briggs something, whatever. Was that based on Carl Jung, or was that just made up by...
Well, we did it on 16personalities.com.
Yeah.
I don't know who made that up, but...
Yeah, we did it for fun, I think, when we were talking to each other that first year.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thanks for the answer. I guess I never felt that with someone before. That could explain it, yeah. Look, with me, I just experienced... I went out with different women, But it's like they all went to the same school and they got taught. It's you know, when you say, for instance, you want to find someone who's into physics, but everyone in the school system is taught chemistry or maths, and everyone is a maths person. And like, I'm a chemist and I'm a physics person, and I can never find a physics person. I know they're out there, but they're rare to find. But the society generates math people, for instance. And it is hard, but you just have to realize you're a physics person and you need another physics person. Bad analogy, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean if I'm an introvert, I find another introvert and problem solved. That's a big one, but then what kind of introvert are they? What's their personality like? They could be an introvert with a bad temper. You're an introvert who's very calm. So that's going to be a shitty relationship as well. So, let's see. Peg, I shortened your answer, Peg, because Peg asked questions as well as offered some statements as well.
Okay.
I wanted to fit it all in here so it wouldn't block our heads. Peg says, in terms of this, the reality of living with someone, or actually, what was the... Yeah. Peg said surprises, if any, in each and other's daily... we asked, I think she's... I said, ask your questions below. So asking us of what it's like living together. She says, are there any surprises, if any, in each other's daily routines and habits? We've got our quirks, but no big surprises.
Not really surprises, but... You really are a night owl.
Yeah.
But I kind of already knew that about you because you already told me that when we were Skyping.
But it kind of works out because you like getting up early in the morning and working on your stuff.
Yeah.
So it kind of works out. Sometimes I go to bed early, but... tidiness and establishing an agreeable workable standard.
Well, I do the cleaning.
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect at it, but I manage.
And if I tell her, babe, I'm choking on asbestos.
I do my best, okay? No, I clean I do the basics, like. Yeah.
Night habits, night owl. We just talked about early risers.
Yeah, I like to get up early. Like, usually I get up at 5. Not always in the weekends or when I'm like really tired, but I often do that, I would say.
And every now and then I get into a very short-term habit of going to bed early, and sometimes I do and I get it.
Yeah.
But especially if I'm working on a project and I'm really into it and I don't want to let it go till I finish it, like last night. I really wanted to finish my video and upload it because I was really feeling I was in the flow. So I find it very easy to work into the early hours of the morning. So that's my... cross to bear. I need to really cut it off. I do things like setting alarms on my watch and things like that, and my phone to tell me to go to bed and get ready because I need to.
Well, if it works for you.
Yeah, but I get lost in my habits. If I sit down and work on a project, I can work on it all day and then I'll start to get a headache and dizzy, and I'm going, I haven't looked up from the screen. I haven't drank anything. I haven't eaten anything. My blood sugar's low, or I'm dehydrated, so I really get lost in what I focus on. Whereas you're pretty good in terms of like your habits and reminding yourself and organizing.
Yeah, probably also because I love food, so I never forget. I hardly ever forget to eat.
What about snoring, like a freight train?
You snore very rarely. And I've heard that I snore very rarely too.
Yeah.
So we both snore rarely.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yours is kind of cute.
How do I snore, babe?
You snore like a little pig. Yeah.
At least a cute pig, I hope.
Bed hog.
You tend to take the blankets over to your side a little bit, but not like very far, but a little bit. That's common.
Right. So it is common?
I would say it's common, but it's only a little bit.
Right.
Like I still have enough of the blanket. Yeah.
At least you don't kick me out of bed.
Yeah, I know, right? Sometimes I joke about it because one of his exes did that. I was like, what the fuck when he told me, you know? But now sometimes I make a joke about it. Hey, watch it because I'll kick you out of bed. And then we have a laugh, you know? But yeah, that's crazy.
Preferable side of the bed. Yeah, we have a preferable side of the bed. Even when we stay somewhere else, if we've gone to a hotel or we've traveled or whatever.
Yeah, I like to sleep nearest to the toilet.
To the bathroom.
Yeah, so that, yeah, in the middle of the night if I have to go, I can get out. And in our bed also, I sleep near the door.
Right, yeah, that's pretty much it. But most of the time, if we're free to choose, we pick the same side we sleep on at home because that's familiar.
Yeah.
Remember last time we went to a hotel and the bathroom was on the opposite side of where the bathroom is near where we live now and in the home. And you were like, I'm going to sleep on this side. And I'm like, well, but that's my side, babe. And you're like, but I want to be close to the bathroom. So that was a bit of a, but again, you adjust. Talking in their sleep. I've talked in my sleep, haven't I?
Yeah.
But it's not common.
Not common at all.
No.
And sometimes you make like little noises, but that's also not common.
Adjusting to having someone else in bed beside yourself.
No, that's not an adjustment.
No, I always slept. A big positive was like I slept awesome with you when we first got together. Like I had great night's sleep. And again, I think that's to do with us communicating. We empty our minds because we talk so much and we feel very comfortable and we release so much out of our heads. And so we go to bed not staying awake at night, not thinking about things because our thoughts are kind of like expelled.
I think for me, that has much more to do with feeling safe. Because I experienced that the first time you visited me in Holland and we started sleeping together. I immediately felt I could sleep well because I was having sleeping problems before that.
That's right. You were taking
melatonin even to try to get to sleep.
Yeah.
And so I noticed that immediately, and that's because I felt safe. You know, and that's why I think I still sleep so well with you. Because I feel safe. Like, I know that you've got me, and it's good forever.
Yeah, I haven't noticed you. You go to bed and you sleep like a rock. You never complain about lack of sleep or anything.
I said it yesterday, remember? Yesterday evening when you put me to bed. I said, I'm actually looking forward to sleeping. Like I said something like that. And I never used to say that before.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's nice.
What else did Peg say? Mealtime prep food, preferences and cleanup?
Well, I make all the meals for us. And then also in the morning when we have to work, I prep our food for work. Yeah,
you ask me what I want and do I want anything and you prep all of that. Yeah.
I think the only chore inside of the house that you do is you take out the trash.
Yeah.
Or can you think of anything else that you do inside the house?
Little things I kind of help out even if it is yours because I'm just there. Like you get up early and when I get up, I kind of just quickly make the bed.
Yeah.
Whereas if we both get up, that's your thing. But usually like I'll do adjustments and things even if it's technically but it's kind of if I can move something or do something quickly, I'll do it. But in the house, yeah. And again, I'll do all the fixing and all the stuff that's higher up and heavier and whatever.
And sometimes, like very rarely, you'll do the dishes after I've gone to bed. And then if I haven't done the dishes, then you've done that like once or twice, which is really nice. Yeah. Yeah,
I think it's when I realize you've had a pretty stressful day and there's a lot of dishes. And not that you aren't in a good mood, but you could tell you were really tired and you went to bed really tired. It's like, babe, I'm really tired. I'm exhausted. And then you go to bed and I'm working and then I go to the sink and I notice there's a pile of dishes. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just do them. If I don't want to do them, I won't do them. But if I'm in like, yeah, I'll do it. she'll like this. And then I do it, and then in the morning you'll kind of thank me.
And that's kind of funny because you know how we did that test? What's it called again? Like the 4 or 5?
Oh, the love language thing?
The love languages. I scored very low on acts of service. But those 1 or 2 times that you did that, that's really nice. It's like, you did the dishes. Like, it's really nice. Yeah.
Well, I think it's natural as a human being. You appreciate when someone shows you. They don't just say they love you, they show you with acts. So, like, people can say what they want. Like, your partner can say they love you all the time, but if they never do it, whenever you ask them to do something, you know that, make me a sandwich, or come to my parents, or come with me to the football game. I really would like your support or something. And you're like, nah, I don't want to. I'm not into it. That's not my thing. Then you can say, I love you to your partner till you're blue in the face. But if you don't show it, it's bullshit. You don't mean it. In the same way, you can talk about losing weight and fixing your life all you want. But if you don't do it, it doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything. I don't care how much you want it and you really believe in it, but you're not doing it. It doesn't mean anything. It's all words.
Yeah, true. I think there are a few.
Humor conversations, yeah. We both laugh and talk all the time. That's not a... And we both got a similar sense of humor.
We have a silly sense of humor. Yeah. At least I know I do.
But recently we're watching movies, and when we really get annoyed and almost sociopathic, we have our own different ways of doing that. If we were both serial killers, I would be someone who would have like bodies of women buried in the backyard, I think.
Yeah, in your shed.
Yeah.
He's got this shed in the backyard, and I've never looked inside. And sometimes I joke, what if you could like have bodies in there and I would never know? Yeah. It looks really creepy, that little shed.
Yeah, it is. Don't go inside. Yeah, right. But yeah, humor and conversation, that's just easy. We never even had to try. All right. Let's go and see if there's any. Nick says, I am INFJT also. So you're like Stephanie. Created the test based on Carl Jung's research. Apparently, Myers-Briggs are his relationship like his daughters. I think if you are both INFJ, that explains why you vibe.
Yeah.
Wasn't Myers-Briggs created by like a mother and daughter? But you're saying they based it on Carl Jung's work. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, these things were nice and interesting to find out. But when we both met each other, I knew you were my kind of person. And even if the Myers-Briggs test say, no, you're not compatible, I would have said, yeah, fuck off. I don't care. I want to, like, a test isn't going to tell me. But when it confirmed, and then we did different psych tests, not that they're conclusive, but everything we did and everything we played with and investigated and read, it just kind of confirmed what we already knew.
Yeah, so they're probably pretty accurate.
I guess.
Chad.
Nick says INFJ are very considerate of other people's feelings and emotions. Not always. And respectful of giving space to others when they sense they need it.
Okay. So that first sentence for me, I feel like I am very selective in being social and how nice and considerate I am to people. Because I'm not really a people's person. But like the people that I care about, I'm a very nice person to them. Not that I'm like impolite to other people or anything, but
I would best describe you as like you're a very nice, considerate person who admits their faults. It's very genuine, but you are like a door that needs a specific lock for you to open to show that.
Yeah.
You don't give any of that. You're very cold and you don't care about anyone who isn't compatible with you, who isn't fair and respectful. You don't care.
Yeah, like I would say I am just polite and normal, I would say, to strangers and stuff. But
you're very nice to someone like me and to people you trust and then you know you have a connection with. But to kind of strangers, you're just like
Yeah, I guess I don't start really putting effort in unless you're like someone I care about. That like I treat those people different from other people, I feel like.
Yeah, at a party, you'll go to a party and sit in the corner like a chair. You don't make an effort. You need to be involved in a conversation or.
I don't make an effort with random people who chit chat about normal things. Then I feel like an outsider. But if I meet someone who I connect with about a certain topic or, you know, sometimes you just connect with a person, then I can be very social and talk for hours, you know? But with like normal people who talk about normal stuff, and I don't really tend to vibe well with that, I feel like.
Well, remember when we were Skyping for a year before we got together? Every time we Skype, we had like notebooks full of things we wanted to talk about with each other, like topics, questions, ideas. Like it was really interesting talking to you. Like, and we always, and in between, we sent responses and video chats back to each other. So we were always talking about ideas. So that makes sense. And with me as well, when you go to barbecues and people are just talking about chit chat bullshit, it's nothing conversation just used to make noise to make everyone feel safe and comfortable. Like, football team and the weather and how's work and how the kids and how's it. Like, it's just all.
It's always felt very fake to me. And I don't like pretending. Like, I just want to be who I am. So I'll be polite and everything. But unless I can find someone I can really connect with about something, then I can talk to that person for hours. But yeah.
Ted asks you a question, babe.
What is your view about women who refuse to accept accountability? I don't know. I can't really speak for other women or about other women, I feel like. I can just speak for myself. Obviously, I know that I feel guilty very quickly. And whenever I mess up, because I've said something, because sometimes that can be a bit blunt. And then sometimes there are remnants of me being independent from when I was in Holland, where I'm not like as considerate as I should be. Or I do something, you know, like if I mess up in some way, I'll feel guilty right away and I'll apologize right away. Or I'll want to make it up to him right away. So I'm not the type of person who would not take accountability. Like but that's also because I'm the type of person I've always done a lot of work on myself and reflection on myself. So I'm very aware of when I mess up and then I apologize right away. And I think that's a really good thing, because if I didn't do that, then I think that problem would just grow and grow and it would drive us apart and it would just blow up at some point. It just wouldn't be good. So I think if a woman can recognize when she did something wrong and she can admit that and apologize, I think that's very important in a relationship.
Yeah. In a sense, you're very sensitive in that area. When there's an awkward moment or you've put your foot in your mouth or you've done something wrong, you freeze like a deer in headlights and you can't move. You need to resolve it. You need to apologize. You need to talk. And in a sense, people go, whoa, she's a bit sensitive. It's a bit odd about it. But it's actually a good thing too, because you don't hide it. You're not like, well, let's let that go. Let me pretend it's nothing. Well, I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to apologize. Let's just move on. You can't move on. You have to resolve something.
Yeah. And it's obviously because we're married and I love you, but it's also because I know that I'm in the wrong and I did something wrong and it's not fair to you, my husband. So I should apologize. So it's also very objective. Like, I might feel bad about it and sensitive about it, but it's also just an objective thing that I need to fix. Yeah.
Striking It Rich says the more you have to compromise with each other, the less likely it is to last.
Oh my God, I so agree. We talked about this yesterday. Can I say something about this?
Yep. Go ahead, babe.
Okay. So yesterday we talked about compromise, and I said to him that I don't like the word compromise, because I think you should compromise the least amount possible in a relationship. It should be a very, very small part of the relationship. Like, the only place where I feel like I compromise is with the social thing.
Yeah.
But that's like very doable, especially after like the 2 years that we've been living together. But I feel like if you have a lot of things that you need to compromise on in a relationship, it's not a good thing, because compromising isn't fun. Because you're not doing something you want to do, and then the other person is as well, and then you find a middle ground. Sure, that's good, I guess. But if you have to compromise on a lot of different things, that's not fun. And then I feel like you might start to resent each other for that. So bottom line, I think in a relationship, you should compromise the least amount possible, and then that's good.
Can you pass me my drink, babe?
Yeah. This one?
Yeah. My take is you should never compromise your values and who you are as a person, right? So the person should like who you are. So that's like, for me, non-negotiable. I can't and I won't compromise who I am. I can't just become someone else. Then what are you even with me for? I'm not just like what you see. I'm who I am as well. But if I see compromise. I used to be much harder about it many years ago, because I don't think relationships shouldn't be that hard that you have to always compromise. So I do see where he's coming from. And this is why you need to have a conversation about this. It's not a black and white thing. Compromising to me is that you can't always have it your way. I realistically can't expect you to come from Holland and just fit in my frame and be a puppy dog on a leash and do everything I say and roll over and, have your tongue out wagging your tail and just always be happy. A person comes with what they want. And sometimes in a situation, what they want in this situation is more important than you. You might have your say and whatever, but you need to compromise a bit. So compromise for me is you have to pay for everything you want. If we're got different opinions or we want something that's not quite aligned, we talk about it and sort of find out, all right, what's this about? If you want to buy something and I'm like, well, it's a bit too expensive, but you're like, well, babe, I haven't found this top before and I know it's a bit expensive, but I don't like, and you talk and it's like, well, who's it really for? It's for Stephanie. And she wants to pay a bit more. I wouldn't, but it's not for me. And you talk it through and you compromise a little bit, because you can't always get it your way, especially when it's not really about you. If it's about more the other person and you should let them have more of the percentage in this situation, then you do. Because if I have to have everything my way, I find that a little bit insecure. I find that like I'm acting like a 5-year-old. I have to have everything in my life. Everyone has to think like me, talk like me, and do everything around my presence like I'm royalty, and they have to bow down to me. So I see compromise as meeting you part way, and also that sometimes you have to pay a little bit to get something else. Compromise is giving a little bit so you both get what you want in the end. So for us, our marriage and our relationship is the most important thing. So we both have to put ourselves as individuals in second or third place sometimes. So that's the compromise. So you can't always do what you want, and neither can I. So we have to compromise for the relationship sometimes.
Yeah, but I feel like that should be a very small part of the relationship, because if that becomes too big, then I feel like it's not fun anymore.
No.
Yeah.
That's why I said I think it's really about, if you feel like you're compromising, like you said, all the time about every little small thing, and you can't move no matter what you do, or you have to compromise your values and your core identity. Like you're an introvert and I'm forcing you to be an extrovert. Or you like dressing a certain way and I hate it and I want you to dress a completely different way that makes you feel really uncomfortable and you don't like yourself. Or you got to start eating food that you don't like and I want you to eat a certain way.
Yeah, that would work.
But, like kind of vegans forcing someone to whatever. But, the core things of who you are, you're changing huge aspects of yourself. And again, it's up to you in the end. If you keep saying yes and cutting bits of yourself off just to make the person happy, to please them, and then you just keep doing it and no compromise is ever enough, then it's up to you to stop it at some point and go, hey.
Yeah, compromise should probably be more about actions, not about actually changing something in your personality that much. Like I can change being more social because that's actions. But I wouldn't be able to change becoming like an extroverted person if you were. So, because that's changing like a huge part of my personality.
Yeah. Strygolly said, I met someone great who snores really loud and I can't sleep next to them. Do you think it could be a deal breaker? Sleep divorce is an option, but I live in a small apartment. Earplugs?
Yeah, like if someone snores really loud, that shouldn't be a deal breaker.
Yeah, but if you can't sleep, babe, as well, I understand.
If I started snoring super loud, are you gonna divorce me and send me back to Holland?
No,
No, but that's what I mean.
No, but I can, yeah, I guess. But it depends. Say you really can't help it. Like you're such a light sleeper and noises really trigger you, small noises. And babe, I'd love to, but I have to sleep in another room. Sorry.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. You're gonna look for solutions to deal with this.
Ah, you mean this literally sleep divorce?
Yeah, but it's not gonna be a deal breaker. If you're considering that as a deal breaker, I think that says more about how good your relationship is, regardless of sleep.
And also, usually people snore when they lie in certain positions.
Mm.
So when you're on your own, you sleep the way you want to sleep. But then with your partner, if they're saying you snore, you may need to start learning to sleep on a different side if you want to keep the relationship and the person's tried everything. They're sleeping with earplugs. You've got a small apartment and because you can't be tired. Like if I go to work, I don't want to have an accident because I don't have sleep. Like my life's in danger. So it really can. But again, it depends on if you've done everything.
Yeah, but if you really can't sleep, then you can, like, last resort would be to sleep in a different room, maybe.
Or get one of those sleep things. Like they've got like all these different instruments, get surgery, whatever it is. But again, it depends on how much you want to do and what you can tolerate. So again, it's different for everyone.
Well, I think first of all, it depends on what kind of relationship you have. And whether or not this would even be considered a deal breaker. Because with us, it would never be a deal breaker. We would look for some kind of solution. Worst case scenario, we would sleep in different bedrooms, right? But if you're just in some normal relationship and you would consider this a deal breaker, that says something about your relationship.
When I think back, the little things that used to really bug girls I was with because we weren't compatible and little things tick them off, snoring would be enough to like, that's it, I can't do this anymore. So I think the less compatible you are, these things stick out the most because I'm trying to imagine you as someone I wasn't compatible with. I could get mildly annoyed at but I notice you breathing heavily, like lightly snoring, and I notice it for a second and it's cute and I just roll over and it's no big deal. But it's got to do with the person you're with and how comfortable you are. Like a little quirk, the quirks I have, leaving the pantry door open and things like that. If I irritated you, you didn't get along with me, we weren't compatible, that would really start to bug you more than it does.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Why do men always take out the trash? I saw that. I think that's just like a thing men want to do. But that's kind of something that you started doing. Because I've obviously always done it when I lived on my own. It's not a problem.
I think it's just natural if you're with someone, I'm protective over you. I don't want you walking out in the street at night, putting the garbage bin on the front lawn. Yes, it's a male thing, but for me, I don't want you doing things that I have to worry about you, or I'm going to put you in harm's way, or you're walking the streets at night, or we talked about this before, you going to clubs with the girls and guys cracking onto you. Anything where I have to worry about you, you're in potential danger and I'm not there. So I think that is generally seen as a male thing to take out the trash. But it's kind of like also when I'm living on my own, I was washing and cleaning and cooking as well. So they're female things, but I was doing them. So you have to do everything. Like you said, when you were living on your own, you took out the trash. You did a lot of typical male stuff.
I noticed that whenever we go grocery shopping and we have like 2 big heavy bags, And he'll put them in the back of his car. And when we get home, I always want to take everything because I want to do everything in one go.
Yeah, you're like a mule. You just
I
want
know. But I'll pick up the bags and I'll want to take them inside. And you very often take them from me. And then it doesn't surprise me, but I'm like, oh yeah, okay. But I'm also able to do it myself.
Yeah, it's like why is my wife carrying all of the heavy groceries and I'm just walking around with my mobile phone in my hand? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just a me thing. Maybe I'm a simp. Nick says, as an INFJ, I am okay socializing in small doses as one-on-ones, but I need lots of time alone to recover because social settings drain me.
They can be draining. Yeah, I recognize that. I'm also better one-on-one, I feel like. Yeah.
GOT Serengeti says, is it fair to say that women who have many friends, quote unquote, are unfit to be in an intimate relationship? No. Again, if you meet somebody, you can't just sort of say that as a blanket statement. I know what you mean. Party girl that goes out, gets drunk, has got a lot of friends. What? Yeah, okay. It's a bit...
Yeah. But how is that correlated?
No, it's a very black and white definite statement. Yeah. But you could meet someone with a lot of friends. What do you mean by friends?
Yeah. Because not all friends are going to be partying.
She could be socializing and she could have a very social life, and part of her work is she takes care of elderly or children or people, or she's part of groups where there's a lot of people around. Like, the context matters as well. But generally what you're saying is like a lot of friends, like male friends. Yeah, it depends on how.
He doesn't even say male.
But he said friends with quotes. I'm assuming.
Yeah, but what does that mean? I feel like we need to have a conversation with this person to know what he means.
Yeah.
Where's her accent from? I'm Dutch.
Where does it say that? Guys, if you want to ask questions, please put 3 emojis before your question so I can see them, just like this one here. Preferably 3 smiley faces. Because we're not ignoring your question, we can't see them. There's just so many people talking, and if you really want to ask us a question, please add. Where's the question, babe?
Where's her accent from there? Yeah, so I'm Dutch, yeah. So my accent is
Dutch.
Well,
I wouldn't have guessed it if I just heard you.
Well, I studied American English, so yeah, I might have a little bit of an American accent as well, but I also have a Dutch accent because I know that I'm Dutch.
Because when I was in the Netherlands, I heard other people speaking English and they sounded nothing like you.
Yeah, but the Dutch English sounds very different to this.
There's a lot of you know. You're just very... Well, I wouldn't guess you were from the Netherlands if I heard you. Out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's because I have... Like, I'm trying to do, like, the American accent. But if I would just speak Dutch, then I would speak more like this. Like, maybe something like that. Oh, that sounded kind of French, actually. I don't know.
Yeah, you're very particular. Like, when you learn English, you're very precise. I mean, you're an English teacher. But when you learned American English, you're like, I'm just not going to learn English. I'm going to exactly phrase it like Americans phrase it. And I'm going to learn the English language in this particular way. So you almost mechanically do something precisely all the time. And I've noticed that when we do things in our life, I'll say, let's go to the supermarket, and you're very precise about how we do it. What do we take a bag? Do we do this? Where do we do? So you do things exactly the way it's supposed to. You're very literal.
Yeah,
you're very, very literal.
Yeah. Yeah, but when I was in school studying to become a teacher, I could pick American English or British, and I couldn't do the British accent. It's like so out of my comfort zone. So an American was a lot easier.
I always found the American accent hard to listen to growing up because I always identified it with infomercials, steak knives,
Yeah.
but wait, only $3.95 and blah blah blah. It's a really harsh R in an American accent. But then as I got older, I started to like the American accent more and more, just generally when I heard people speaking clearly, because Americans pronounce every word properly. I can tell when they're saying an R and an O, and the vowels are very easy to distinguish in a sentence. Whereas in Australia, the Australian accent gets very lazy with some vowels, and people aren't sure what we just said. Whereas a proper English accent, they're very precise as well. So I really respect a very noble and eloquent English accent as well as a very eloquent American accent. But I never thought I would be with someone who has an American accent.
Well, here I am.
Human, would you say that the vector between cute and annoying is a fine line? No. Or is it more intuitive in finding real balance in a relationship? Cute and annoying, no. If something's annoying, it's annoying. If something's cute, it's cute. I think some people can excuse it. See, I see these T-shirts girls have. Psycho but cute, but like it's like two opposite things. Like, no, it's one or the other. Stop trying to be like, I'm really hard work, but I love deeply. It's like, no, you're just hard work. No one can love you. Like you want people to love you. That's what you're saying, but you make it very, very difficult. So cute and annoying, I think there's a separation between those two. It's not a fine line. To me, it's a really big gap. All right. Any final? How long have we been going for? We've been going for just over an hour and 15 minutes, babe.
Yeah.
You like doing streams, don't you?
I love doing streams. It's so much fun. Yeah. You know why I find it so much fun? Because we're kind of being social without being social.
That's the writer in you. I heard a writer once say, when they asked him what, most writers are introverts generally. They like spending time on their own. And one writer said, I think I like writing because I'm manufacturing a social life by not having to be social. And I think this does the same thing for you, because you and I both write. You're more of a writer than I am. So I think this is why you like it.
Yeah, it's really fun. Like, we can interact with people, but we don't actually have to be out, and we're in our own home. Like, we can stop at any moment. It's just nice. Yeah.
All right, let's do a call out for any final questions on this subject of the reality of living with someone. Let me go through my notes as well. I think we talked about everything.
Have we had all the comments?
Oh, good point. Okay. Chris M says, how do you overcome differences in lifestyle or values in a couple's relationship? How to find a balance between time spent together and time for yourself in a relationship? We kind of answered that second one before.
Yeah.
How to overcome differences in lifestyle or values?
I feel like we have the same lifestyle and values.
Well, yeah, without that,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be having a serious relationship. You shouldn't move in together. You shouldn't do anything long-term together.
Yeah, especially lifestyle. It was very important for me to know beforehand that we wanted to have the same kind of lifestyle, because I am such a homebody. So yeah, if you had a way more active lifestyle, that would be more of a problem.
Yeah, lifestyle and values, they are the bedrock of what you can build a relationship on. If you don't have that, and that's what people are always struggling with, and that's what everyone sort of says is normal, fighting and differences, and you have to put up with these big differences between each other, and that's just normal. Your grandparents, like shitty grandparents will tell you that, but also everyone in public just tells you that all the drama is just perfectly normal, just because everyone does it. But it's not normal, just because you all lazily do it. Intuitively, you know it's not normal. What would you prefer? Jeff and Nancy over there, who have a great relationship and they get along with each other really well, or the majority of everyone else who's like pulling each other's hair and like fighting all the time and rolling their eyes?
I think we might have the advantage of we are very good on our own. And maybe because sometimes people get into relationships because they don't want to be alone. So maybe because we are good on our own as well. Like, I see relationships as something extra, like it needs to add to my life because I'm good on my own. So that gives me the ability to be very objective, I feel like. So then if the relationship isn't good anymore for some reason, I try to work on it together. But if it doesn't work, then we shouldn't continue together anymore.
Something to be said also by if you're an introvert or a person that likes to be on your own, you're a creative person, you spend a lot of time on your own and you're not very social, is when you're on your own, you think a lot and you reflect a lot. You and I both write, so we put a lot of our thoughts on paper. So we're used to having a self-reflective conversation with ourselves. You meet someone you're compatible with, you can do that with them.
Yeah.
You know? And so even if I think the grammar you use when you're on your own, you're good on your own, the dialogue you have with yourself in your own life and on paper, that can also help when you meet someone that's compatible with you. Or we have the same, we understand how we think. Because we think the same with each other as we did when we're on our own. We're not as selfish. We have to be fair with each other and let each other in. But the grammar we use, how we problem solve, how we talk about things, we're used to doing that when we were used to self-reflect on our own as well. So that's also an important thing to recognize.
Yeah, I think that because for men it's a bit more difficult. I feel like they stay in relationships longer maybe. But just imagine if you're a man and you're good on your own and you see a girlfriend or a relationship as something extra that needs to add to your life. If you're that objective, then it might be you wouldn't take as much. You would see red flags or whatever and you'll get out. So I think it would be good if men were more like that. If they didn't have such a strong inclination towards women and they could be more objective, then they could actually look at everything objectively. And then usually if they were dating, they're ignoring some red flags because they really want to be in a relationship with this woman. But now that they're objective, they're good on their own. They see a relationship as something extra that they don't have to have, but it's just a possibility. Then they might not, go so far and they might end it a lot sooner.
It's also the assumptions you have going into relationships and when you're on your own, what walls you have up and how reasonable you're going to be with, if you do get something good in front of you, whether you're going to deal with it now, like you're going to be a bit more open-minded. So,
what do you mean by open-minded?
As in, when you're single and you're on your own, you keep going through the same stuff and it's hard, you don't meet people, and you sort of just getting a bit hardened and you've just got a certain view of how you deal with dating and women, and it's like you just don't have patience and you kind of have this wall between you. It's like you don't have time for it, You just have a way of talking and acting with relationships. But you have to also have the wherewithal to, when you do get someone that's different, you don't just act in the same way.
Right.
So when I met you, I wasn't so jaded that's like, yeah, what do you want, bitch? It's kind of like I didn't have that attitude. Yeah, another one, another female,
If you had been like that, then we would have never happened, babe.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But so
Yeah.
it does jade you, and I can understand guys who have been burnt, or women probably, but I've got some other notes. What are our routines every week? Habits.
Okay, let's start Monday morning.
Yeah.
Monday morning catch up. So
every morning we do have a coffee together.
Yeah, we sit in the kitchen at the counter, have a coffee every morning. So we have a chat every morning. But Monday morning is like about our productivity and like what are we going to do this week.
Yeah.
We just have a bit of a catch up about what we want to do.
Yeah, each person's projects, routines, what we want to do, what we need to do, where we need to go.
Yeah, and then I make our food for work. Then we both go to work.
Yeah.
He drives me to work because I don't drive. And then after work, he picks me up from work. Then we go home. Then I cook. Then we have dinner on the couch. Then we watch a movie as we have dinner. And then after dinner, we're still watching the movie. I fall into a coma while I sleep like on him. That happens like almost every night.
Yeah, as soon as she touches me, she kind of gets tranquilized, like when she leans on me.
Yeah. And then sometimes you go and do some more work, like after the movie.
Yeah.
And I usually go to bed around like 9:30 because I wake up at 5. So I go to bed early and you come to bed a bit later.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the week. He works 3 days. He works Monday to Wednesday. I work Monday to Thursday. And then on Thursday, I'm doing all the talking.
No, that's right. Go ahead. Yeah.
And then on Thursday, so I'm at work. And on Thursday, because I'm not home, he'll take advantage of that and he'll invite a bunch of strippers. No, I'm kidding. He'll no, he'll work on. He'll film a video or like do a lot of work at home on his channel and stuff. And then a Friday morning, we have Friday morning catch-ups, and that's about like how we're doing, like our marriage.
Yeah, that's about the relationship.
Yeah.
How have we been? Has that been good? Like our marriage, our relationship. So it's not about all the other stuff in our life.
Yeah, it's just a quick catch-up, like about us.
Mm-hmm.
And also like because sometimes we get lost in our projects a little bit and we want to have a bit more quality time this weekend. Yeah, and then in the weekends, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's just all projects and quality time. Usually on Friday we have our stream,
Mm-hmm.
and afterwards we go for breakfast or lunch, really. Yeah, and then the whole weekend we just kind of have our problems.
Someone's going to say, Freudian slip. That's the truth. Mic drop.
Projects, I mean.
Well, they are problems to be solved sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, so our projects and quality time.
And that's pretty much
Yeah.
our week is pretty similar. Every week's the same.
Yeah, like that's every week. And then occasionally we'll have like a social event, like his family. We'll go to his family or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's our life.
Yeah.
So it's work, being at home a lot, working on projects a lot. And our quality time is having conversations together, watching a movie, or we'll go out for breakfast or lunch. Yeah, and that's kind of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Well done. A for effort. Nice description, babe.
That was the recap.
Let's see. Any last questions? Oh, here's a few. Nick Alexander, how did you guys meet? Not sure if anyone else already asked. Yeah, we've talked about this. Go to our joint channel. We have a channel, a couple's channel, Bob and Steph, and it's the link's right at the bottom of the homepage to my channel here. So go to the homepage right at the bottom. There's like a little circle. It says Bob and Steph. And we did a video of how we met. It's basically the timeline of when we met to when you came here and just before we got married.
Yeah, but in short, I discovered his YouTube channel and I wrote to him in response to one of his videos. And then we started talking, we started Skyping, and then we started having a relationship. But yeah, you can watch that video. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you wanted to talk about this, the bike. Letting go of independence. Like, that was a moment. That's an anecdote about how we both needed to accommodate each other. When we both started living together, you come to the table in the mode of your old life. Like,
that was about when we were talking about independent women.
Yeah.
Like how it's hard for women sometimes to let go of their independence unless they meet a man who will actually make them feel safe.
Yeah.
But then also women nowadays are very used to being independent. So it might take a bit of effort to completely let go of that, or at least for a big part.
But related to the bike,
and the bike was an example of that for me. Yeah, because like I think 6 months after I moved here, I could start working, and then we were gonna buy a bike for me so I could cycle to work.
Yeah, because work was about 20 minutes away.
Yeah, and then I remember I was like, because I don't care about stuff, right? So I was like, yeah, I'll just get a bike. I don't really care.
Yeah, you saw one in the store and you go, yeah, just get that one.
Yeah.
You didn't care.
And you were more like, no, let me do some research and let me look up different sites and stuff. And because usually I'm very simple and I'll just buy the first thing I see. So I was kind of like, yeah, I don't really care. Like, I just want to get any bike make sure it has 2 wheels and I'll be fine. And then, but he kept like wanting to look up stuff. And then I was like, well, but it's my bike, right? Like, I didn't really get why you were putting so much effort into it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like from my independent side from when I was back in Holland.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to making all these decisions myself, and I just pick quickly. I'm very quick with making decisions. And then like we talked about it a bit, and then I started to realize, yeah, like you're doing this because you care about me getting a good bike that's like good quality. You want me to be safe on the bike.
Yeah. I'm looking at specs and value for money, and I don't want us to get ripped off by someone because it's the first bike you saw. Yeah. I'm looking at the practical aspects of getting you the best bike I can with the money we spend. Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I get it. And then we actually ended up buying a bike that I really liked. That was a really nice color. And
But yeah, that was just a natural teething problem. You come with your own stubbornness and your own ways of doing things.
Yeah.
And I think, but if you're compatible, you talk, and you remember that you really want to treat each other well, then it's easier. But if you're kind of stubborn, it's you just live very independently, and you're like, no, I'm me. I don't want to lose myself, and you're over there, and I'm over here, and we have this relationship together, but we're always at some sort of distance. You can try and do that. I've tried to do that, but it never works and never lasts.
Yeah, and I think that because we were talking about how that's sometimes hard for women to let go of. Mm-hmm. And in that case, you really need to have the right man, because especially with the social thing, like that was also pretty difficult for me to change, So you need to have the right man who you want to make that effort for. And I wanted to do that with you, obviously. But like it took a while,
Yeah.
Like over the years, it got easier and easier.
You do have like stubbornness in you.
Yeah, it's stubbornness. It's because I was always independent.
Yeah.
And then you're like, why do I need to change this? Why? And then because that kept I kept fighting with those two feelings. Like, I feel like this is wrong. I'm being stubborn. But on the other hand, it makes sense that you would want that from me. And then you need to follow the rational path, even though your feelings keep like being stubborn.
Yeah, what's the rational answer?
Yeah, so sometimes for women, I think it can be hard to let go of that independence. Like even for me, it was a bit of a struggle. But then you need to have the right man at the end of the path who will get you there. Not that you had to help me, but I mean, who you are willing to put in that effort, and then over time it becomes easier.
Well, we often have like, whether it's to do, not between each other, but like you stubbornly do or don't want to do something, and you hate fighting the two feelings.
Yeah.
Like you wanna, you should, but I don't wanna, I don't feel like it. And I'm like, babe, who gives a fuck what you feel? Just do the right thing. Like that's, and you're like, yeah, but I don't want to do it. It's like, who cares what you want? Just do it. Do it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So now I feel like I'm much better with the social thing. But like a while ago, that was exactly what I was doing. And we had conversations about that, and that helped as well. Yeah. But I was like, I feel stubborn. And then I just started saying to myself, I'm just going to ignore my feelings completely and just say yes. And then just whatever. Just say yes, just do it. And just because I couldn't help getting these feelings of stubbornness. So I just started trying to ignore them, and then talking about it helped as well.
Yeah. And that's one thing I imagine women who are really governed by their feelings much more than guys are.
Which is annoying. Yeah.
Where when you're on your own, you don't need to listen to anything else except for your feelings, because there's no one else. Like, what am I going to just do things that I don't want to do? Of course, you're just going to do what you feel like you're doing all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and now even I've really learned with you to just say yes. Like even yesterday when you asked me to go for a walk, like I don't want to go for a walk. But I was like, yeah, okay. Because it's not like horrible for me to go on a walk. I just don't really feel like it, but I almost never feel like it. But like, just say yes. Like, what's the problem? You always say yes to me.
Yeah.
I should just say yes. It's not a problem.
Well, I'll let you know yes, because you were actually in the middle of watching a series you were enjoying on the couch.
Yeah.
And you were having a lot of fun. I've just finished editing and spending a lot of time editing the video. I wanted to get out and go for a walk or a jog. And so that's why, like, I feel motivated. I might even go for a jog. But I wanted to spend some time with you and maybe get some sunshine and ask you, like, you want to go for a walk? And you're like, if you want. So you were trying for us, but I knew you were watching a movie, and I was like, no, babe, you don't really have to. Like, I like that you want to go with me, but you look like you're enjoying the movie. And if you don't want to go, it's fine, because I might go for a run and you can't keep up with me when I go for a run.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
it was like I was fine. But a lot of times if I actually want you to go, like I really just want to go for a walk and I want to just hang out with you and like unplug from the four walls, then, you know, we kind of do what's good for the marriage.
But I also like it when you tell me what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you ask me, but then sometimes I can say no.
Yeah.
But I also really like it if you're direct with me and you tell me that you want me to do something, because you know that I always do. Yeah. I always say what I want, or, you know. Yeah.
But that was a moment where I was kind of 50-50. If you did want to go, great. If you didn't want to go, I'll go for a run and listen to a podcast, which is great too. But there's other times where I really want you to do something for me or with me, then I'll tell you. Most of the times I don't really need you to do a lot for me, but when the moments are there, I do. Like, for instance, social or going to family. Like, that's non-negotiable. I really need you and want you, and you should be with me as my wife. I don't want to turn up, look like an idiot and feel awkward, and I wouldn't have a good time. I'd be thinking about you when you're at home, and why don't you want to be with me? And so if it's 50-50, then that's fine. And then because I'm also honest, like if I don't feel like doing something, I'll say nah. But then if you really want it, you should tell me. Like with movies also. Real names not given says, who makes the jokes and are they funny?
I think we both joke around, and I think they're funny.
You've gotten better at joking around in the last year.
Oh yeah, you think?
Yeah, you've opened up more and shown like you always have, but I feel like because I'm older, you don't want to show a lot of your really childish, fun little things. Like I remember when you first moved in, you were a bit more polite and well-behaved, but like over time, you've like your jokey side, you've come out more and more, like when you do your little dances in the hallway and all that stuff. That's what I mean. So you've just gotten more and more relaxed.
I think that's got a lot to do with me just feeling more and more comfortable with you, and us getting to know each other better and everything like that. Yeah.
Ted says, what about the line, if you cannot handle me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best? That's the Marilyn Monroe quote. Yeah, that's stupid. I think everyone knows what they think of that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of BS, to be honest. Because your worst...
It sounds poetic. What's wrong?
Yeah. Nothing.
Is it falling down or something?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just fidgeting, I guess. Sorry, babe. I won't touch your mic.
It sounds poetic, but it's ridiculous. It's the same as a guy who was like abusing his wife, and it's like, you need to handle this because I do take you out to dinner, and I do buy you diamond rings and stuff. So if you got to handle my worst, if you want to receive my best, it's like no, I don't.
I guess it depends on what the worst is in a particular scenario. Like there would be scenarios where it would be, yeah, okay, I get it, but you know, if you're in a really bad place and you're like doing drugs and everything, and your partner needs to put up with it, like no.
Yeah, if the worst is natural stuff, like you can be insecure at times, or a bit sensitive or unsure of yourself. Like if that's the worst, it's kind of like, but she's just being a typical girl, and like you like me protecting you, or you can lean on it. If that's the worst, but if the worst is she's going psycho and throwing plates around everywhere and trying to stab you, it's like, if that's the worst that I have to put up with, then maybe later on I get her best here and there. Now, I don't want your best. I don't want to be waiting around for your best all the time, and I tolerate your worst.
You know, I've never had a partner or an ex who has ever thrown something, but I've always felt like if someone ever throws something, that's like a huge red flag. Because I'm always like, what else are you capable of? You know,
well, that's
scary.
That's the feeling I had with that ex that kicked me out of bed. She literally horse kicked me with the back of her feet. I was sleeping. I must have been snoring. I think I was. And rather than waking me or nudging me or whatever, telling me, she just like horse kicked me and my legs flew out. Like I spun around,
Yeah.
and my legs flew out of the bed, and like I woke up in a jolt. I didn't know what happened. I thought she had a nightmare, or when you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And that to me was that moment, like someone throwing a plate. It's like, and I realized she kicked me because I said, "What's going on? What?" And she goes, "You were snoring." And then my brain was like, "Ah, you kicked me."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, you were snoring." And I was like, that was like the plate throwing thing. It's like, okay, that's your temper. That's what you're capable of.
But you didn't get angry at her then, did you?
I was shocked and then slowly became low-level angry and annoyed. And I think we broke up pretty quickly after that because, yeah, she had a lot of issues.
I feel like in that situation, I would have flicked on the light and been like, what the fuck? I would have been really angry. Like, that's not acceptable. That's crazy.
Or I could have just got my pillow and put it over her head.
Or get a bucket of ice cold water and like throw it on her. Oh, sorry, you were snoring. Yeah, that's crazy.
Give her a commando, the Arnold one with the like elbow in the.
Yeah, just pretend. You know how you sometimes like in the middle of the night.
Oh,
just do that and then
yeah.
With
I had
your
one of
elbow.
those dreams, when you kind of slip. Sorry.
Yeah.
Did it hurt? All right. By friends, I only meant a lot of social interactions with males or females. Let me rephrase the question. Do you guys think that being a socialite can penalize someone in an intimate setting? Yeah. If you're not that social, if this is what he's asking, if you're not that social and they are, or vice versa, it can really be hard to be with that person. How do you interpret what he's saying? Do you guys think that being a socialite can penalize someone in an intimate setting?
What does he mean by that?
I think before he was saying like you're with someone and they've got a lot of friends, remember? And we said, it depends what the friends are like. What do you mean by friends and blah, blah, blah. He's sort of saying the person they might like is a very social person. They've got a lot of friends and all that. And you don't feel comfortable maybe with them having so many friends and they're always out. But I think that's a personality difference. If they're a very social person with a lot of friends and you're a very insulated person, you stay at home, you don't have a lot of friends, there's obviously going to be a very big divide between the two of you.
Yeah. I don't know if that's what I'm getting from this question, but what does he mean by intimate setting? Like in a relationship at home or like sex?
Do you guys think that being a socialite can penalize someone in an intimate setting? So you want to be intimate with this person, you want to go out with them and date them, but they're a socialite and they've got a lot of friends and you don't like it, or you don't get along with their lifestyle. Yeah,
then I think that might be annoying at least. I don't know. But I would need to have more context.
It sounds like it's just a big incompatibility of lifestyle and character and personality. There's a lot working against these two people.
Yeah. Sorry, I feel like we're not really understanding your questions.
Yeah. But the more mismatched your values and personality are, the harder it is. Regardless of how interesting the person is. I've dated people, they're very interesting. They're the younger you are, you tend to date things that are nothing like your parents. So you go on adventures like, wow, different kind of person, different race, different lifestyle. They're so exciting. They're different. They're interesting. They're fun. And then as you get older, it's like, yeah, I can't just be on holiday with these people. I have to find someone that feels like home. And when you're younger, you can go on holiday with people. You can go on vacation to a really interesting, different place that happens to be another person, a different nationality, different skin color, different, and they're nothing, they don't remind you of anyone that you grew up with. They don't remind you of your mum, your dad, your siblings, no one. But they're exciting. They're like a holiday. But as you get older, you realize you are who you are, and you have to find someone who feels like home. So you can't live on holiday.
I feel like if I were a man, I probably wouldn't want to date a woman that's a socialite. That sounds to me like very high risk because she's going to meet a lot of different people all the time.
Well, a socialite if a woman's a socialite, I'll use the metaphor again of traveling, is like I can bang her, I can have a fling with her, but it's the same way like I could go to New York and stay in New York for a week most. a couple of days. But I can't live there in that kind of city. I have to live in the country, in the suburbs, whatever. So short term, yeah. But you have to be serious about what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Any final questions? Let's wrap this up. The stream has about a 1 minute delay. So let us know your streams.
Your questions.
Your questions and super chats, if you have any. And we'll answer the final super chats and questions before we wrap the stream up. We've been going for nearly an hour and 40 minutes. So, all right. The reality of living with someone.
Oh, do you want to say something about your healthy habits?
Yeah. Someone asked a while ago, they were asking me about my healthy habits or something.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know what to say about them. I just do common sense stuff, I feel like. I mean, you answer it. How do you see my healthy habits? And
well, you make this concoction in the morning. I'm not sure what you put in it, but it's like this healthy drink.
Yeah, that's actually helped with my headaches more than anything else.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. It's supposed to give you energy. I haven't really noticed an energy difference. I feel normal. But I thought it would give me a real buzz. Especially when I feel energetic, I also feel mentally energetic. I haven't really noticed the difference. But what it has done is eliminate all my headaches. I used to get very regular headaches.
Yeah.
And I attributed it to being on the screen, glasses, sunlight. Since I've been making this drink that I took for energy, I haven't had a headache in the last 3 weeks or a month. And the drink is apple cider vinegar, turmeric powder, lemon juice. You're supposed to put salt, but I don't put salt, and ginger.
Yeah.
And it tastes terrible. It's awful.
Yeah.
And I just make a little shot glass of it. And then I wash it down with a glass of water, wash the taste out, and that's a habit I do every morning. We have a coffee together, and I try at least once a week to go for a run or a jog. I eat fairly healthy. I have fun meals. I'm not super strict, but I try and be active, and I try not to let more than 2 days go by where I didn't do a short 10 to 15 minute workout, and I usually do them at night just before I jump in the shower. I feel like I'm going to have a shower, let me sweat a bit just before the shower. So I'll put something on YouTube on the TV while I do a workout in front of the television in the living room. And that's it. It's nothing to, and if I do stuff myself and have a big meal, I'm very OCD. I have to go for a walk or a run. I feel like I have to counterbalance.
Yeah, which I find crazy.
Yeah, I'll stuff myself. I can't move. And I'll be like, babe, I'm going for a run.
And I'll be like, what?
Yeah.
Because that's the last thing I want to do if I've stuffed myself.
I kind of it's like I need to punish myself because I was an idiot for eating so much. I have like a low-level David Goggins in me where it's like, yeah, you fat fuck. I guess we're going for a run now. It's like, I don't want to go for a run. Well, I guess we are. So I got that little voice inside me. But that's it. That's my routine. It's nothing too complicated. And I'm always adjusting it as well. So I'm always just trying to find stuff that works and be sensible, be active, lift weights, get sleep. Another thing is I wear a smartwatch and I track my steps as well. Not sort of incessantly, but kind of if I know I get above 7,000 to 10,000 steps in my kind of life, at least I've been active. I've walked a bit today. If I get above a certain threshold, especially like yesterday when I went for a run, I went for 1 hour. And so I knew I went way past my threshold of normal sedentary steps. So I track my sleep with this as well. So just do a lot of fun, common sense stuff. And for me, it is fun. It's not work. It's kind of just like adjusting my life in a fun way from day to day.
Yeah.
And I like healthy food, so it's not hard for me to eat healthy.
Yeah, I just went down. We have a few more questions.
Okay. Crummy VCR, you can read it out, babe.
Would both of you say the life dynamic has changed radically, or has it mainly stayed the same? Living with people over time changes things, I found out, but everyone is different.
Have you
life dynamic.
Have you found a big change living with me?
No.
No.
It's very similar to how I was already living, which is one of the biggest reasons why I decided to move here also.
It's just better in that I just describe my life with you feels warmer. That's the best way I can describe it. Yeah. Not that it was terrible or cold. It just feels warmer and a bit more fun. It's just better.
Yeah.
So it's just a warmer ambience in my life, but it didn't really need to change. Yeah, you need to accommodate another person into your life. You need to be fair. You need to work on little things and not be so selfish and whatever. But in terms of lifestyle and that, no. Ted says, from now on, she has to add to my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've influenced. You've become an influencer, babe. You've influenced someone.
No, but to me, that's just common sense. But I think that's because I've always been very good on my own. And so I've always seen relationships like that. Like if I'm going to get into a relationship with someone, it needs to actually add something to my life and I need to add something to his life. So if that's not the case, why even get into a relationship? Yeah.
Ted says, when are you both going to visit the United States?
Oh, I don't know if we ever will.
Oh, we might.
Yeah, maybe New York.
Yeah, New York. I've got one of my good friends lives in New York, and I've been wanting to visit her for a little while, but it's never kind of happened. Like something's always stopped, or the world has stopped, and whatever.
I am secretly hoping they're going to move to Greece, though, so that we can just visit Greece, because I think that New York and LA have just become shitholes and dangerous, and so I would rather go to Greece.
Well, they might. But we'll see. We'll visit New York if my friend is still living there in the next year or two when we plan to visit them. So that's our only plans for America. But yeah. Ikiban Selector says, in this day of ridiculous role models and the depreciation of deprecation, putting down of relationships, it is great to see two real people modeling a healthy relationship in real time for us. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Well, I've always said the reason why I wanted to start a channel with you is just to show us talking to each other and people can believe their own eyes and ears and observe a couple that does get along. And when whatever you're looking for, whoever you are, you look at us and you go, yeah, that looks like what people should be doing. Not exactly like us. You get your own kind of person, but you should get along. You should be friends. You should have a sense of humor. You can make fun of each other. You are on each other's side. You know how to communicate. It should just be something like this. And that's the reason that I wanted to start our couples channel, is just so people can actually watch a couple that gets along. And I know it's hard out there, and I've been there before, Stephanie. It's all a train wreck and all entitled women and everyone, against each other and fighting and demanding and being spoiled, acting spoiled. Genuine question. Are you surprised so few unsubscribed despite how many stated they would? Not really. I actually thought I would lose more subscribers. I was prepared to lose probably most half. I was expecting to go down to 50, 60,000. But I was surprised how few. But again, with me, even the numbers started to go down. I knew that people would react and leave. But I get sensitive with my channel unreasonably. When I step back and I go, yeah, relax, Bob. That's normal. Or that's actually better than what you thought. But
yeah, I can be a bit more objective because I'm outside of it a bit. But yeah, that was not a nice period.
Well, actually, now it's good. I knew it would be a rough period. This is the thing as well, being realistic about life. I always made videos on my channel and I changed depending on what I wanted to talk about and where I was in life. So when I started my channel with no face, just a single picture or word on the screen and me just talking into the microphone, and I was reading a script of my essays. And I built up a channel and I got to know people. And then after a while, my content is very self-reflective and very kind of personal. It's not information-based. It's more philosophical. And then I felt like I was itching because the videos I watch are vloggers and people showing their talking heads. And talking honestly and just normal people. And I wanted to do that. I really admired them. And I knew that my kind of content would really easily fit that. That's more honest. And so I knew I had to show my face, and everyone was telling me not to. And then my channel's always evolved. So even now, for a while we were dating, and then we moved in and we got married, that's our real life. And I was like, okay, my channel's different. And I don't want to disappoint anyone. And also I don't want them intruding on our relationship while we're developing it, when we're getting to know each other. And I knew there would be a point where it'd be a crossover, because I only enjoy making content where I am in my life. And I was kind of slowly living in the past more and more as I was moving forward in my life with you. I was trying to keep my old subs happy. I didn't want them to get annoyed or anything. Even though I wasn't lying to them, it's kind of like I was starting to live two lives. And then it's like, no, I have to make the content where I am now, because that's where I'm passionate. Because you just kind of just phone in. You start just, okay, what do you want to watch? I'll make the videos you want me to make. And I'm not enjoying them. I'm just going to a job where I'm stamping cans on a production line. And I've never been that way with my channel. So, yeah, roundabout way. I was surprised. No, I wasn't surprised. I thought more people would unsub. But I actually think my real subs are around probably 70,000. I think they're about 30,000 less, because a lot of people sub at a certain point and then they don't really follow you. If it was genuine, if the people that actually watch me regularly, it's not 90 something thousand. I think it's like 50 to 60 maybe. If that could be 30 to 40. I don't know. Anyway, any last questions? Ooh. Boffin. How long did it take before living with another became routine? When did you feel when did you feel comfortable when you checked yourself and you go, I'm married, I'm living with Bob? When did you kind of start to almost forget where you were and it was very normal?
Well, we had a few moments throughout the first year, I think. But I felt comfortable right away when I moved in with you. So,
I think it happened over time. There was no point. It was just like a gradual moment where you forget, because I have moments where I realize, oh yeah, I'm with you, you're my wife and all that. It's kind of nice. Yeah. But it's always just getting more and more normal over time. Not that it's ever hard, but just where I think the first year there were a lot of like, oh yeah, I'm married. Oh yeah, Stephanie's with me. It's all very new. But now it's less new and more comfortable and more routine.
Yeah.
A bit off topic, but it's sad to see that everyone from the golden age of MGTOW never had children and are not going to have children. Again, some people don't want to have children. A lot of MGTOW is not even getting married, which I get, because you can't really go your way completely, because you have to consider another person, you've got the state involved and all of that sort of stuff, you've got the law.
Yeah, but that's probably because they're MGTOW, so they can't have children with women.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because they don't want children, maybe.
Look, I don't know. MGTOW is like, it didn't have so many, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. So it was just about going your own way and doing your own thing. But yeah, I don't know why a lot of people, I never wanted children. So I'm an example of someone who'd never have children, but it's not because of MGTOW or whatever. But again, if you want to have children, have them, but just have them with.
Yeah, but you need a woman to have. Well, I guess you could adopt, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are we the same? Oh, are we the same ethnicity? No. I'm Dutch. Well, I'm basically half Dutch, half Aruban. My mom is from Aruba. My dad is from Holland. And you are... Do you want to say that?
Yeah, I'm Serbian.
Yeah, Serbian.
Serbian heritage. But I was born in Australia. So, kako si, svako.
Oh, he's saying... oh, yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, I would rather avoid New York and LA as well. Can we just
Which one?
the Jahati? Yeah, he's saying sorry for me. No, your English is fine. It's just I think we're not understanding your questions. I think we would have to have a conversation in order for us to really understand what you mean.
I kind of understand the general gist, but the more general the question is, we can talk around it and from different angles. But the more specific the question is, then we can just focus on answering.
Yeah.
I do that quite a bit, especially if you give me a very general question, I can just talk around it for a very long time. But the more specific you give a question, especially for me, I can answer it more concisely. All right, I think let's wrap it up. I think we've said everything we wanted to say. Have we answered this? The reality of accommodating someone else into your life. I think that's the big thing.
I think the answer is, if you find someone who is compatible with you, then it's not a lot of effort and it should be pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, watch the latest video I just dropped last night. It's very interesting. I think it came across well. It's about the cost of missed opportunities. It's related to this topic that we're talking about today. Living with someone, have you missed opportunities? I've talked to not as many guys, but I've talked to a lot of exes and women in general in my life, friends and family, where they regret, I was with this guy in my 20s and I broke up with him. There's nothing wrong about him, but I just thought it wasn't the right time to commit. I wanted to travel. I wanted to do this. And then I've had relationships, and now I'm in my 40s and he was the best person I went out with, and I wish I could turn the clock back. Kind of the regret of, like, if they're a really good person, just stay with them. Like, everyone just thinks that there's something better. Unless you know there's something better, like, just stay with what you have and find out who you are and what you want. But what do? You make the choice you make. The conversation I had here with Quaz on my chat channel, last week's stream on my channel, and this week's stream we had a couple of days ago on our channel. Are your expectations of a partner realistic? So I think we're done. Done.
We're like saying weird stuff today. Are there a few more
screw it.
ones?
Most of us don't hate women, or probably men from the opposite. Life is better spending it with someone you enjoy being with. Yeah, it's not complicated. We can get very intellectual about this, especially when we're on our own. And it's really nice, especially you're an introvert, you find intellectual topics interesting, and you can really get deep and make it very intricate. But the basics are the true things. Like, do you enjoy spending time with them? Are they kind? Can they laugh at themselves? Do you enjoy hanging around them? But if you need a lot of space around them, like, those are just very basic questions. And we can get into the stats and hypergamy and male nature, female nature, and left versus right versus politics versus 90% of women do this and 20% of men. It's like, do you enjoy being with the person? Do you feel safe around them? Can you trust them? You know?
Yeah, you can kind of throw all of that out the window. Like, because for us, we don't need to talk about that. So that also depends on what kind of person you have, I guess.
Everyone can come up with a very technical, intellectual discussion of, well, Stephanie could leave you, or this could happen, or what if this happens? It's like, oh, that's such a low percent. Like, it's not. And okay, let me be reasonable. There is a tiny percentage that it might happen. Given our personalities, what you're saying may happen. I can't see the chances of that happening. But, you know, you just have to trust who you've got, who you are, and talk. And that's the best you can do. And you keep it going by always talking, being honest, and keep it going that way. I think people want guarantees through a technical way of finding someone. You know, the same way I buy this microphone is the same way I should be able to get a woman. Like, technically accurate, and I know exactly its failure points and where I can expect it to fail. What's the warranty on the microphone?
Well, then you should get escorts. Then you get the equivalent of a microphone.
A lot of people do, where they really want a particular black and white person. They don't want a person, they want an object that they can have a relationship with in a very precise, objective, structural way, then yeah, get an escort.
Yeah, or just they don't. Didn't you hear that like it's better to get an escort than a girlfriend? Like it's cheaper.
That was the joke. What's the difference between?
Yeah, but I think it's actually true. I think.
Yeah.
In some ways,
What's
and you don't get all the nagging and all the risks and all the bullshit.
What's the difference between sex you pay for and sex you get for free in a relationship?
I think in the honeymoon period it might be kind of equal, but afterwards it's probably more fun sex from like an escort.
So she didn't get. I was asking a joke.
Oh.
You thought I was being literal. This is a joke. There's a cliche joke where what's the difference between paying for sex, escort, or getting sex for free, like relationship. This is a joke.
How was it a joke?
So that's the joke. What's the difference between paying for sex and getting it for free? Paying for sex is cheaper.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the joke where you end up paying more in the long run for a relationship. Not only in the years you've wasted, psychologically, it damages you, it changes you, and you spend so much money. But if you go to a hooker, it's like a set amount. You can be who you want. You can do whatever you want if it's agreeable, and you're back to your life and you've had a release.
Yeah, you know that psychology guy, what's his, Psych Hacks? He made a really good 3-part series about why wealthy men go for escorts. That was very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you showed me a clip of that. I watched the first one. All right, let's wrap it up. I'm at the point of believing that men and women cannot be platonic friends. Well, look, again, all you can go by is your experience. Doesn't matter what people tell you. If you're having a shit time relating to and dating, and everyone's like, well, relationships are great, you're just picking bad people. But this is my experience. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, but I think it's also like a lot of these statements are used as like blanket statements, but nothing is black or white. Like, of course, there are some men and women that can be platonic friends, but it's probably kind of rare maybe. It's
also your stubborn mindset. If you really believe, like, no, I am going to find a good relationship. But if you've had this experience like him, I'm at the point of believing men and women cannot be friends, then that's your experience. Like, okay, I'm done with it. Like, I can't be bothered anymore. Fine. But when they tell me that my relationship is a joke, or I can't date women like this, or you're fooling yourself, humans, like, no. You don't get to tell me how my mindset is and what I want.
Yeah, but that's also just words. Like, they don't know us. Or
Ted said, Steph, women are generally mean-spirited towards men here in the United States.
Yeah, I've gathered that from all the videos I've seen. That's, I understand that, guys. Yeah.
Thanks, Rocket. GDI, that is true. I've been literally everywhere since 2015 except Africa and found women much more like the women you would expect them being like abroad. Is he or she saying that women are better in non-Western countries? I think that's what they're saying. Yep. Norman Mailer said there is no such thing as free sex. There is no such thing as
sex. Sex is never without cost. Sometimes it is, like a one-night stand.
Yeah, but no, he said there's no such thing as safe sex.
Why not?
Not literally, like protection, but you get with a crazy person, it's never safe. Sex is never safe.
Yeah, but only if the person's crazy.
How do you know? People who are hooking up, how do you know?
Yeah, okay, in a relationship, that's safe.
That's different, but like sex is not safe. There's no such thing as safe sex. Conceptually, I remember him saying that, and that's pretty accurate. All right, I think we're done.
I missed the Aussie delivery of a joke. Yeah, I'm so bad with jokes, and I take stuff literally.
Which is great. She's so direct. You don't play games. There's no analogy, this means that, or whatever.
Yeah,
So
he really likes it.
It's cute, babe. I like that about you, that you're so literal. Yeah, you'll never, you would be the worst stand-up comedian,
Oh, yeah?
I think. You would tell a joke like a German, and if people don't laugh, you'll be like, laugh. You're supposed to laugh now.
Yeah.
I said the joke, laugh.
And my dad sometimes says that to me. Like when he makes a joke and I'm like, because sometimes it's like a dad joke. And then he'll be like, laugh. And then I'll laugh.
All right. Let's get out of here. Happy Father's Day to you all in Australia. It's Father's Day today in Australia. It's different everywhere around the world, apparently. But today's Father's Day, 1st of September.
Which is different from in Holland. That's weird. In Holland, Mother's Day and Father's Day are like in May and June. And here, Father's Day is in September.
Oh, well. All right.
Tell a joke like a German, lol. Yeah, I also don't really know many jokes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, babe. I know you're trying to say goodbye. And I just keep on...
No, it's not. I do this on my own. Don't worry, babe. All right. We're going to go. Hope you enjoyed the stream. And leave your comments under the video or in the community post of that I left in the community post. It's this one here. Go under my community post and here. The reality of living with someone. And leave your comments here as well or under this stream video. And yeah, let me know what you have to say.
Australians are upside down.
Yeah. All right. Let's call it a day. What?
I'm looking at the comments. But yeah, we are down under.
Oh, yeah, if you got a microphone, jump on Discord after this. And do you want to jump on a bit?
Sure.
Yeah, all right, Stephanie will jump on as well. So anyone who has a Discord mic, jump on Discord. And if you want to continue this conversation, we'll jump on as well. So I'll see you in about 5 minutes. All right, have a good one. How long has the stream been going? Why can't I say it's just over 2 hours? All right, let's go. Bye.
Bye.